Hey guys, Pitmaster here. There's a couple things you're born with, couple skills, and there's some skills that you just have to develop, and some are kind of you can be born with them and develop more. Um, but there's two things that no matter how hard you train, you'll never be able to develop if you weren't born with them, and you can never increase them, but they will decrease. Okay. The two things are heart and chin. You can be born with a great chin, Tex Cobb, uh, Roy Nelson, and then you can be born with a glass chin. Most people, you're not going to know most people with glass chins because they're not going to make it, to the UFC level or the boxing, pro boxing level. They usually get, they usually won't make it that far. Heart. If you don't have any heart, you can't get heart if you don't have it. And some people have too much heart for their own good. Arturo Gatti, Leonard Garcia. Okay, so those are two things that you cannot train and you cannot get more of. But you can start losing your chin. You could have the best chin in the world in the beginning of your career, and then you get knocked out and you get hit on it over and over and over. It starts declining a lot of times. Sometimes it doesn't. Some guys have solid chins all the way through their career. It's nice when your chin and your heart match. I know plenty of guys with a lot of heart but no chin. So they're going to get knocked out, but they're going to get knocked out swinging. And then I know a lot of guys that don't have a lot of heart but have a big chin, and they're not going to go anywhere anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But my point is, if you have a fighter or you're a fighter and you don't have a good chin, in other words, if you get like dropped in training a lot and you get, you just easily get your bell rung, there are ways to work around that. You got to, change your system. If you're a slugger, you can't be a slugger. You have to be a mover. You have to protect your chin all the time, and you have to be more of a technician. You can't be a slugger. You can't be trading shot for shot because you're going to lose that one every time. So the way around the chin thing is just working different angles and always staying on the outside and working your technique game much more than your power game. Because, yeah, it's good to have a knockout punch, but if you get into the pocket and trade with your opponent, no matter how solid your punch is, if you have a weak chin, you're usually going to be the one that gets knocked out first. I've seen guys that get knocked out just with the wind in sparring, But I've been able to train them and change their style enough where they've made it to the top level of the top organizations in the sport. But that's as far as they're going to. You're never going to see a guy with not a good chin make it to the top 10. You're never going to see a guy without a good chin, be a champion or anything. But there are ways to work around that if you have a bad chin. If you don't have much heart, like Howard Davis, Olympic gold medal boxer, 76 Olympics, says, you can't teach heart, and you can't. You can't teach heart, you can't train heart. You either have that or you don't. Fortunately, most martial artists, especially sport martial artists, have heart. And the way around the heart thing, if you don't like to fight and you don't have a heart to fight, but you want to be a martial artist, that is easily cured if somebody tries to hurt you or your family. Then it doesn't matter if you don't have a fighting heart, you're going to get one real quick if you see somebody hurting your child, your wife, or even trying to take your own life. So the heart thing kind of works itself out for martial artists, but don't ever try to be a UFC fighter. The chin thing, if you want to be a fighter and you don't have a good chin, if you can't just choose another line of work and get out of that, if you really want to be a fighter, then there's ways around it. You just have to work around the chin. But you have to admit that you don't have a chin and change your style. Don't go in there without a chin and think you're going to be a slugger, because you're going to get knocked out every single time. Okay? So That's all I got to say about that topic. Heart and chin. You're either born with them or you're not. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. And I'd love it if you guys subscribe and like and share my stuff because I think it's great stuff, and I hope you do too. Thanks for coming, guys.